In his book Slumming, Voyeuristic Encounters in America, 1885 to 1940, Chad Heap, an American author and historian, examines a long-standing urban practice where respectable white city dwellers are drawn to impoverished and racially diverse neighborhoods for entertainment purposes. Heap delves into the phenomenon of slumming, tracing its origins in working-class immigrant communities in the 1880s, its prevalence in Harlem during Prohibition, and its manifestation in the burgeoning growth of gay and lesbian bars in 1930s Chicago. Throughout the book, the author uncovers a tradition rooted in both voyeuristic exploitation and human desire, shedding light on how the revulsion and curiosity towards racial and sexual others shaped a culture war that continues to persist in modern-day America. Heap highlights the externalist nature of American attitudes towards race and sexuality during the 19th century, when slumming emerged as a popular practice. According to Heap, identity, especially sexual identity, was primarily defined by one's public appearance and conformity to societal norms, rather than one's inner desires or private behaviors. For instance, a man who exhibited behaviors that contradicted traditional notions of masculinity, such as effeminacy, was labeled as gay or derogatorily referred to as a fairy in the offensive language of 1880s America. On the other hand, a man who conformed to traditional masculine roles in public, fulfilling societal expectations, was invariably perceived as straight, regardless of engaging in homosexual acts in private. Heap argues that a similar externalist paradigm existed regarding race. Although outward physical characteristics, such as skin color, played a role in discrimination and violence, particularly in northern urban centers, there was a prevailing belief that a person's biological race held less significance than their ability to project an image of European high-class affluence and sophistication. Through his exploration of slumming, Heap offers insights into the complexities of American society and its historical dynamics of race, sexuality, and social class. He underscores the lasting impact of these attitudes, highlighting their influence on contemporary culture and the ongoing cultural conflicts in America. In Slumming, Voyeuristic Encounters in America, 1885 to 1940, Chad Heap explores the perception of poor Irish immigrants and poor black individuals in late 19th century America. He argues that these groups were often treated with similar disdain by middle and upper-class Northern Americans and the institutions they controlled. Additionally, German immigrants were associated with high culture, leading them to be regarded as higher in the social stratum compared to African Americans and the Irish. This externalist mode of thinking, according to Heap, characterized the late 19th century. As slumming grew and evolved, Heap contends that this externalist perspective gradually gave way to an internalist mode of thinking, which still exists today. White Americans, through their first-hand experiences of observing and often exploiting black culture or gay culture, began to perceive their own internal identity as fundamentally different from that of the supposedly deviant other. Over time, slumming contributed to a clearer demarcation between black and white, gay and straight. Interestingly, this contradicts the notion that engaging with other cultures fosters tolerance. Instead, it accentuated divisions. Heap further examines the relationship between entertainment and racial or sexual divisions within the context of slumming. Throughout the 45-year period covered in the book, entertainment consistently served as the primary motivator for white urbanites' exploration of the other's culture. The journey began cautiously in the 1880s with visits to red light districts, particularly in New York, which were predominantly populated by working-class European or Chinese immigrants before the Great Migration of African Americans from the South. Illegal sporting events like boxing matches attracted many of these visitors, primarily males. The subsequent stage involved embracing neighborhoods inhabited by bohemians and artists who advocated for free love and other ideals that challenged mainstream codes of conduct. Thus, the first two stages of slumming were closely intertwined with prevailing moral attitudes, as white urbanites pushed the boundaries of societal acceptability. During the Prohibition era, the progression of slumming entered a more explicitly racial phase, as affluent individuals ventured into bars and clubs located in black neighborhoods like Harlem. Among these establishments was the Cotton Club in Midtown, known for its infusion of black culture and performances by renowned artists such as Duke Ellington and Louis Armstrong. However, it catered exclusively to white audiences, as Owney Madden, the English gangster who managed the Cotton Club, aimed to offer an authentic black entertainment experience for a wealthy, whites-only clientele. Langston Hughes, one of the few African Americans who visited the club as a guest, characterized it as a Jim Crow bar for gangsters and affluent white individuals. The final stage examined by Heap focuses on the emergence of gay and lesbian bars in 1930s Chicago that surprisingly attracted predominantly straight visitors. Despite the unsavory aspects of slumming, Heap acknowledges that, in some instances, the mere existence of intermingling between different races and individuals with diverse sexual orientations during this time represented a form of progress. In summary, the stages of slumming progressed from explorations of red light districts to engagements with bohemian communities, followed by the racial dynamics of Prohibition-era clubs like the Cotton Club, and finally the rise of gay and lesbian bars in Chicago. While slumming had its negative aspects, the fact that people of different races and sexual orientations interacted, even in such contexts, reflected some degree of societal advancement. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.